Okay, there's one other thing I want to discuss here, and I'm making another video for this. Now, you experienced Glock users probably already know about this, so this is just for the new people who buy Glocks. And what I want to talk about is the operation of the slide release. Now, what happens is when you run out of ammunition and the gun cycles back for the last time, the slide will lock back. Now, you insert a new magazine. You insert it like that, then you have to release the slide, push the slide release button, and that reloads it. Okay, now this weapon is well broken. I've put about 800 rounds through this, so this release is fairly easy. Plus, I'm a big strong guy too, and I don't have any trouble releasing it. So I can press the slide release button here just like you're supposed to, and it releases relatively easy. So anyway, that's the first part about the slide release. Now, as sometimes happens, it locks back like that. And let's say you're somebody, you're not a relatively big, strong guy. Let's say you're a lady, you're 5'4", weigh 110 pounds. You're not real strong, you know, and you push on this button for all you're worth and it just doesn't release. Well, there's another way to do this. I have to demonstrate this with a loaded magazine. There's another way to do this. Instead of doing that, you can grasp a slide like this, pull it back a little bit. If your weapon is broke in, that'll drop like that. Then you go ahead and release the slide and it reloads. So that's one way of doing it. As I say, the other way of doing it is just to pull back like this. And if it doesn't drop right down, then you drop it down real easy and just let it go. But sometimes you have to pull it back like that if you can't push it down like that. Now, where you run into this problem more than anything else is with a brand new Glock right out of the box. This is a brand new Glock right out of the box, and let me see here. It's my empty magazine. As I say, this is a brand new Glock right out of the box, and sometimes these are a lot more difficult to operate. Like this one, for some reason, is flat against the side more or less, and you can't get a real good push on it, and it's harder to push. Now, I can push on this, but it's a lot harder than the other one. So what you do with this one, pull back the slide like this and push it down, and then it'll slide forward. So when you have when you first get a Glock and you're new to it, you have to kind of experiment with this a little bit and learn the best way to do it for you. Like I said, it's often not exact science. Like I say, you have to learn, you have to know your weapon. Now, sometimes, I don't know if I can demonstrate it on this one or not. Sometimes they'll walk back like that and they'll be empty. And you'll put a new magazine in and the thing will release itself, you know, when you slam the magazine home. Sometimes it doesn't wait for that. I don't know if I'll be able to do that here or not. But when you push the new magazine in, it's a fairly hard push. You don't just push it in real gently like that. You go, and that one did. That one did. When I pushed it in, notice it released itself and it carried home and chambered around. So sometimes they'll do that. And as I say, this is a function of getting to know your weapon and working with it a little bit and learning things about it and this, that, and the other. So I wanted to cover slide release briefly. Now, I'm 4 minutes into this, so I'm going to cover reloads here just briefly. I didn't cover that on my other videos. Now, the reason I didn't cover reloading is I assume you're only a citizen and you're, maybe you'll get concealed carry, but I assume you aren't going to carry extra magazines because you're not planning on being in a gunfight or anything. Now, if you're military or law enforcement, you do carry extra magazines and you know how to do this anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if you're a citizen, there's two different types of reloads, which, as I say, if you carry extra magazines, you need to know about. Now, one of the reloads is what's known as a tactical reload. And that type of reload, you're in the middle of a gunfight, you think you fired off about 8 rounds, you think you're running low on ammunition, there's a lull in the gunfight. What you do then, you take your magazine out like this, and you can do it at your leisure. Take the magazine out, put it in your pocket. You've already have a round chamber, so you're not having to chamber another round. You put the new magazine in, and you're you've topped off your weapon, and you're ready to go again. So that's one type of reload. The other type of reload is called an emergency reload. And to be perfectly candid, emergency reloads suck. They're not something you want to do. Now, an emergency reload is when you're in the middle of a gunfight, you're really carried away, you're really shooting at people, and the action is hot and heavy. All of a sudden, your weapon runs dry, the slide locks back like that. You look, oh, I've run dry. What you do is you don't even think about it. You hit the slide release button, drop the magazine on the ground like that. As you're doing that, you're pulling a new one out of your mag pouch. You index the mag, slam it home, and sometimes your weapon will slam forward like that one just did. It'll go ahead and release, and then you're loaded and you're ready to begin. And on an emergency reload, you point right back in with your finger on the trigger, ready to take action. Like I say, emergency reloads aren't a good thing, but sometimes they happen. Okay, that's about it for this segment. That's mainly one last thing I wanted to cover, so I'm going to upload this and put it on YouTube and see how it turned out, and I'll see you in the others I produce, and there will be others.